So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes so that you get to cover your current affairs very quickly and you have the rest of the day to spend in reading other parts of your UPSC syllabus. Now, just after watching this lecture, I'm repeating it. You have to revise this lecture because revision helps you consolidate these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget these current affairs. All right. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. So, make sure just after watching this lecture series, you revise it. It'll hardly take 10 to 20 minutes, but you'll get to remember these current affairs for long periods of time. All right. Let's start our discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we are going to discuss in today's lecture. Okay. Number one is related to an earthquake, 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Tibet, which actually destroyed a lot of cities in Tibet and it caused a lot of loss of lives. The tremors were felt even in Bhutan and Nepal and some parts of India as well. So we'll talk about this earthquake and why earthquakes are so frequent in Himalayan region. Then, recently Union Home Minister Amit Shah launched Bharatpol Portal. Now, this Bharatpol portal would help India's law enforcement agencies to catch fugitives who have committed transnational crimes. So, basically, it is a portal for catching transnational criminals. So, we'll talk about this. And recently, RBI has given directions to credit bureaus and banks. And it has said that if you are not able to resolve the complaints of customers, then you have to pay them 100 rupees per day. Okay. Now, this complaint is these complaints are related to data delays by credit bureaus. So, what is this entire issue? What are credit bureaus? What is their relationship with banks? We'll talk about this. Then, recently in Gujarat, an advanced light helicopter ALH Mark III or ALH Dhruv crashed. And this is the second crash in last 4 months of advanced light helicopter indigenously built by India. So we'll talk about this helicopter. And in the end, we'll talk about climate related news because recently a report has come out which says that global warming is destroying Earth's water cycle. So, what is water cycle and how is global warming disrupting Earth's water cycle? We'll talk about this. All right. So, these are the 5 topics that we will focus our attention on. Please give me your 100% and let's begin. Okay. So, 6 Quake in Tibet. A strong earthquake struck the foothills of Himalayas near one of Tibet's holiest cities on Tuesday, killing at least 126 people. The magnitude of this earthquake was 6.8. That means it was a massive earthquake. The epicenter from where the earthquake started, the epicenter of this earthquake was 80 kilometers to the north of Mount Everest. Okay. There is a county in Tibet called Tingri County, which is 80 kilometers away from Mount Everest. Tingri County is also known as the northern gateway to the Everest region. So, the earthquake happened, or the epicenter of the earthquake was Tingri County, which is 80 kilometers north of Mount Everest. Okay, the most impact or the most destruction was caused in Shigatse region of Tibet. Now, Shigatse region is very important not just from the perspective of Chinese government, but it is also important from the perspective of Tibetan holy sites. The thing is that Shigatse region is administered by Shigatse city, and Shigatse city is the seat of Panchen Lama. He is like the religious leader of Tibet is Dalai Lama, right? Panchen Lama is just one rank below Dalai Lama in religious hierarchy. Okay, so it is a very important city, and most destruction was caused in this region. Okay, so remember this Panchen Lama. Now, the thing is that we need to know what earthquakes are. So first, let's talk about earthquakes. So the thing is that the entire surface of Earth is made up of 15 major and minor tectonic plates. So the entire upper layer of Earth's surface, crust and upper mantle, is divided into these tectonic plates. Now these tectonic plates move against each other. Sometimes they collide into each other. so they create a convergent boundary. When they collide with each other, the boundary between these two plates, let's suppose this plate and this plate are colliding, so this boundary would be called convergent. Okay, let's suppose this plate and this plate are moving in opposite directions, then it would be called divergent boundary. Okay, and let's suppose these two plates are moving past each other parallelly, then it would be called transform boundary. Okay, now along the boundaries of these plates, various cracks are there. Along the boundaries of this place, earthquakes happen, because when these plates move against each other, they collide with each other or they move against each other, these boundaries face a lot of stress in their surface. Okay, and when this stress breaks, earthquakes happen. Okay, so earthquakes are a result of movement along faults or boundaries of these plates. Now let's suppose these two plates are converging, right? And they get locked at this area. Now these two plates are moving towards each other, but they get stopped by this area. Now the pressure is building, and this area breaks. When this area breaks, seismic waves, vibrations move across the entire planet, right? Now this area is known as focus. All right, this wave, or when this the when these vibrations reach the surface of the earth, okay, this surface point is known as epicenter, and from there onwards the waves travel horizontally to other directions and the earthquake travels. Okay, so this is epicenter, this is focus, and these are the faults along which these two plates are colliding. Okay, now why are earthquakes so rampant in the Himalayan region? The thing is that, as you can see, this is the Indian plate. Okay, this is where India is. This is the Eurasian plate. Now 40 to 50 million years ago, Indian plate collided with Eurasian plate, and since those last 40 to 50 million years, since then, both these plates are moving towards each other, and the process is still going on. Indian plate is pushing towards Eurasian plate. Okay, and this process is still going on. It started 40 to 50 million years ago, and because when these two plates collided, Himalayas emerged. Himalayas are fold mountains, right? But this process is still going on. They're both these plates are pushing against each other, and that is why some faults occur and earthquakes occur. All right, earthquakes in this region. Himalayan mountain range began forming around 40 to 50 million years ago when the Eurasian and Indian plates first began pushing into each other. As both plates were of similar density, their point of collision resulted in uplifting of land. That is why Tibetan plateau is at a height. Okay. Southwestern China, Nepal, northern India are often hit by earthquakes due to this reason, because they're still pushing against each other. Since 1950, 21 earthquakes have happened in this region, and all these 21 earthquakes were of 6 or above magnitude. Okay, the recent one was 6.8. All right, so that's all you need to know about earthquakes in this region, and we'll quickly shift our focus to Bharatpol Portal. So, Union Home Minister and Minister of Cooperation Amit Shah launched Bharatpol Portal in New Delhi on 7 January 2025 in Bharat Mandapam. And while launching this portal, Union Minister Amit Shah ji said that tech intervention Bharatpol Portal would really help India's law enforcement agencies to catch criminals who have escaped from India. So basically, because of easy access to flights, easy movement across borders, criminals have become transnational. They commit a crime and they move to another country. They commit transnational crimes because of technology, and they are easily mobile. Okay, they can move from one place to another. Now, Bharatpol portal would really help catching these fugitives who have committed crimes in India but have escaped abroad. Okay, and how would Bharatpol portal do so? Well, Bharatpol portal was developed by CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. And this portal will streamline the processing of all requests for international assistance through Interpol. Look, the thing is that there is an international police organization called Interpol. Basically, Interpol is a cooperation mechanism between 196 countries and their police organizations. So 196 countries and their police organizations cooperate with each other through Interpol. Okay. So in case of a transnational crime, or when a criminal in India has committed a crime and gone abroad, well, India sometimes needs the assistance of Interpol to catch these people who have escaped from India, right? Now, Bharatpol Portal would actually improve the interface between India and Interpol. So, whenever India wants to seek assistance of Interpol, or Interpol wants to seek India's assistance, well, they can better communicate with each other through Bharatpol Portal. This Bharatpol Portal would facilitate easier and faster access to international assistance. It will strengthen India's efforts in combating transnational crimes. Plus, on this Bharat portal, real-time information from Interpol would come to India, and India will update real-time information about certain criminals to Interpol. So the information would be shared very quickly between Interpol and Bharatpol, India. Okay. Remember, Bharatpol portal was designed by CBI, and there is a reason why CBI has designed this. I'll tell you why. Because Interpol, okay, to understand why only CBI designed Bharatpol portal, you need to understand some things about Interpol. Okay, so Interpol, full form is International Criminal Police Organization, is an international organization facilitating international police cooperation against cross-border terrorism, trafficking, crime. So for cross-border crime, different police organizations need to cooperate, and that happens through Interpol. It is the world's largest international police organization. Its headquarters are in Lyon, France, and it has 7 regional bureaus worldwide. Okay. Now, Interpol has 196 member countries. Okay. Now, Interpol communicates to these, or Interpol's communication to these 196 member states happens through National Central Bureau in every country. So, whenever India wants to communicate, or whenever Interpol wants to communicate some things, India wants to do that with Interpol, well, India can do so through a nodal agency. Okay, so the point of contact between Interpol and India is through this nodal agency. All communications between Interpol and India will be through this nodal agency. Okay, and this nodal agency is known as National Central Bureau. Now, in India, CBI is this National Central Bureau. So every country has designated one of its police organization as National Central Bureau, and Interpol communicates with that country through NCB. So CBI is the NCB for Interpol in India. And that is why, because Bharatpol portal deals with Interpol, it's natural that CBI controls Bharatpol portal. Okay? So that is the reason. Alright. Now we'll move on to our next news item, which is data delays by credit bureaus. Okay? Now, what has RBI said? Due to delays in data updation by credit information companies and credit institutions like banks, the RBI has directed them that complaints should be given a compensation of rupees 100 per calendar day in case their complaint is not resolved within a period of 30 days. So, if a person files a complaint with a bank or credit information companies, if their complaint is not getting resolved within 30 days, well, then just after 30 days, for every day of delay, the complainant shall be compensated 100 rupees. Okay. Now, for that, you need to know what are credit information companies, which are often known as credit bureaus. So, who are these credit bureaus or credit information companies? Okay. Look, credit bureaus compile credit scores and reports based on an individual's credit history, payment behavior, and borrowing pattern. So, basically, what the thing is, that these credit information companies take information from all banks about a customer's credit worthiness. Okay, so let's suppose you are a customer of State Bank of India, SBI. So, credit information company would take your financial information from State Bank of India. What would be that information? What is your credit history? Were you regular in your payments on your past loans? Did you pay back your past loans? Are you still paying your loans? Okay, how much money you earn? What is your payment behavior? I mean, basically, they want to know whether giving loan to you is risky or not. So they will look at your past behavior. Okay, and on the basis of that, they will give you a score that is known as a credit score. If your credit score is high, that means your credit worthiness is high and banks shouldn't feel scared of lending to you. But if your credit score is low, all right, then banks should be scared of you because you're a risky customer. You haven't been paying back your loan installments on time. Okay. Now, credit score is very important. So CIC collects this information from banks and stores it and processes it and gives a credit score. Now, whenever a bank has to give a loan to a person A, let's suppose I go to a bank and ask for a loan. The bank will check my credit worthiness. So the bank will contact, so sorry. So the bank will contact CIC, a particular CIC, and ask for my credit report. On the basis of my credit report, the bank would give me a loan and would also decide an interest rate on that loan. So if I'm a risky customer as per a CIC, bank would charge a higher interest rate. If I'm a very safe customer, my credit score is high as per CIC, banks would charge a lower interest rate. So banks basically need this credit score or credit report to lend to any customer. Okay, and for that, CIC needs information about this person, and CIC will get this information from different banks that this person uses. All right, this is the situation. Now the thing is, what has happened is, let's suppose this person defaulted on a loan 5 years back. Okay, he defaulted, but then he took another loan. Okay, and he paid back that loan on time. So when he defaulted on that loan, his credit score declined. But on the next loan, when he paid back the entire loan, his credit score should improve. But this person found that his credit score has not been updated. His credit score only contains the information of the previous loan which he defaulted. The next loan that he took and paid back properly, that credit information should also be updated. And on the basis of that, his credit score should be updated. But that has not happened. Because of which, this person is finding it very difficult to get loans from other banks. So this person files a complaint with CIC and his bank to please update his credit score, to please take into the fact that the next loan he took was paid back on a timely fashion, so his credit score should be improved, right? Because if it is not getting updated, he is finding it difficult to get loans from banks, right? Now, RBI says that in case the complainant feels that there are delays in information updation, well, you have to compensate this person. This is what was in the news. All right. Now, in India, there are four major credit bureaus, credit information companies: TransUnion, CIBIL, okay, or CIBIL, Experian, Equifax, and CRIF Highmark. So these are the four major credit bureaus in India. And all these credit bureaus operate under RBI's guidelines and regulations. All right, that's all you need to know. By the way, RBI also gave some other directions to these credit bureaus, but you can take a look at these directions from the notes provided by us. This would be mentioned in our notes. Don't worry. But these are these are just general directions. Okay, just go through them. All right. And now we'll move on to our fourth news item, which is Advanced Light Helicopter Mark III. So on January 5, an indigenous means made in India, Advanced Light Helicopter Mark III of the Indian Coast Guard crashed at the Coast Guard Air Enclave in Porbandar, Gujarat during a training exercise, okay, killing all three persons on board. Now, this was the second fatal crash of Coast Guard Advanced Light Helicopter in 4 months. So in the past 4 months, 2 ALH Mark III have crashed. Now, this casts a shadow on the efficiency and quality of these advanced light helicopters. Now, people are saying, or defense experts are saying, that these helicopters are not up to the mark and India should import helicopters from foreign companies rather than making them themselves. Okay, because these helicopters, which were made by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, are not working properly. They have crashed in the last 4 months, right? Now, the Advanced Light Helicopter Mark III that crashed in Porbandar is also known as ALH Dhruv. Its name is Dhruv. And these advanced light helicopters or the development of these advanced light helicopters by HAL started way back in 1990s. So let's talk about ALH Mark III or Dhruv. The design and development of HAL Dhruv started in 1984 with the aim of replacing the old Chetak and Cheetah helicopters. So before Dhruv, India had Chetak and Cheetah helicopters, but they were quite old. So India wanted to replace them. That's why India started building these. Now the overall design of these helicopters is indigenous. Okay, most of this helicopter is made in India. A few things, a few technological components like engines, avionics, these were either borrowed from foreign companies or co-developed with foreign companies. For example, Dhruv ALH Mark III has a very high quality engine called Shakti engine. Okay, now this Shakti engine was co-developed with France. HAL and a company of France co-developed this Shakti engine. Okay, now ALH Mark III has other variants also. So the Dhruv variant is with Indian Coast Guard, it is with Indian Army, Air Force also, Navy also. There is another variant of advanced light helicopter 3 called Rudra. This Rudra helicopter, ALH Mark III Rudra helicopter, is with Indian Army alone. And it has also crashed in the past. So people are casting doubts over advanced light helicopter made by HAL. HAL needs to really do something about it. Okay. And then we'll move on to our last news item, which is disruption in water cycle. So what was in the news? Climate change has been wreaking havoc or destroying Earth's water cycle, according to a new report. Now, because of this disruption in water cycle, we see extreme rainfall in some parts of the world, ferocious floods in some part of the world, and some parts of the world have not seen water at all. They are suffering from droughts. Okay? And this has affected the lives of billions of people. Now, this report was titled 2024 Global Water Monitor Report, and it was produced by an international team of scientists in Australia, Saudi Arabia, China, Germany, elsewhere. Now, the question is that what is water cycle and how is it getting affected from climate change or global warming? So we'll answer these two questions. So basically, water cycle. Okay, water cycle is basically the movement of water from the atmosphere on Earth and from Earth back to the atmosphere. So what happens? Well, ice on these mountains melts. It forms rivers. These rivers get evaporated due to sun. When it gets evaporated, it reaches the atmosphere. It forms clouds, and then again it falls back on the Earth through rain or snowfall, right? So water cycle is basically continuous movement of water in cyclical fashion from atmosphere to earth and from earth back to atmosphere and so on and so forth. Okay, so the water cycle is the constant movement of water in all its phases, solid, liquid, gas, on the ground, inside the ground, and in the atmosphere. So what happens when rainfall occurs? It fills up lakes and rivers. Okay, these lakes and rivers, some of the water in these lakes and rivers gets evaporated and reaches the atmosphere. Some of this water goes underground and is taken by plants, right? Plants use this groundwater for growth. Now, during the peak of sunlight, these plants also lose some moisture through transpiration, right? And this water also goes back to the atmosphere. Then rainfall again occurs, precipitation occurs. In colder areas, it's snowfall. In warmer areas, it's rainfall. And this cycle goes on and on. Now, water cycle is crucial as it is not only enables the availability of water for all living organisms, but also regulates weather patterns. Weather patterns are completely dependent on water cycle on Earth. And this is what is getting affected or disrupted by global warming. Now, how is it happening? How is climate change affecting water cycle? First of all, because of global warming or because of warming, rising air temperatures, evaporation has increased. Okay? When the temperatures are warm, well, evaporation increases. And because of high evaporation, more water vapor is being stored in the atmosphere. Because more water is getting evaporated from Earth's surface. Plus, it is said that hotter air carries more moisture. For every 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature, the atmosphere can hold about 7% more moisture. So more water vapor is getting evaporated, more water vapor is being stored in the atmosphere. Because of that, the storms, the tropical cyclones or the storms that cause rainfall are becoming very intense, because these storms are dumping very high amounts of water because they have high amounts of water vapor. So the intensity of storms have increased, which has led to floods. Okay. Plus, in some areas, droughts have skyrocketed. Because of the rise in temperatures, more evaporation is occurring, soils are drying out, and when rain does arrive, because these soils are hard, and they are hard, why? Because these are dry. Because these soils are hard, water doesn't get absorbed into these soils, it just runs off to the nearby lakes and streams. So these soils are devoid of moisture, they are becoming unfit for agriculture, and it has increased drought like conditions in many parts of the world, causing desertification of land. So this is what is happening because climate change or global warming, rising temperatures have disrupted water cycle. And that would be all from my side, guys. We have come to the end of this lecture. Thank you so much for watching this lecture, everyone. And I hope it has added value to your preparation. It would add more value if you revise this lecture as well. So please do not forget to revise. All right. And on that note, I'll sign off. Thank you so much, everyone.